Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back in the Gumbo pot. It's another episode of Gumbo Live. Gumbo Live, the #2 live YouTube talk show in Wesley Chapel, Florida, and the #1 Facebook Live talk show around the country. Our special guests tonight, Carlos, Rob, and Wayne from the Beans and Dice podcast crew. We're going to be talking about some spicy hot games. We'll get to know the crew also at the start, find out a little bit about the podcast and how it got started, and then we'll play a game with the chat crew, so stick around for that. Hit us up on social media, on Twitter, or on Facebook, or on Blueski or Blue Sky, at Board Game Gumbo, and we'll be looking for your questions in the chat crew. Hey, Patrick Newman checking in from Texas. Haven't seen you. Patrick, give us any Italian tips while you're in there in the chat crew. We'd love to get some tips on traveling to Italy. If you haven't read his blog, he had a fantastic trip to Italy with his lovely bride, so you can check that out. But enough blather. Let's get right to our special guest. We've got a whole crew of them here. Let's see if I can get them all in there. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
All right. So I said it, we're the #2 YouTube live talk show dedicated to board gaming. And that's because the Beans and Dice, obviously, number one on the charts and #1 in the hearts. And that is... But a lot of people may not know what the Beans and Dice podcast is. It's really more than just a podcast. Carlos, what is the Beans and Dice podcast?
Beans and Dice is about how we game at the end of the day. That's what Beans and Dice is all about. Rob and I started this thing because we noticed that after every game night, after every time we got together, we'd be outside in the parking lot, hanging out with the folks, talking about board gaming for hours afterwards. It probably like hit the Taco Bell on the way out.
The old parking lot meeting.
Right, have some more conversations about the games played. Then I noticed throughout the week I'd get phone calls from my friends to talk about the games that we played and the games we plan on playing. So I'd spend hours, after work on the phone with my headset while driving, picking up kids from school and stuff, just talking about board games. And Rob and I were like, you know what? It was 2019, and we're like, you know what? I said, let's do something. Let's stretch ourselves. And we decided to try a podcast. But Robert, he knows I don't have a face for radio.
Oh, no. Yeah. or face for
television. I have a face for radio.
Face for radio, yeah, that's it.
But he likes to get his face on TV, and he pushed for the whole, let's get on to YouTube. Let's do video. And that's a craft that I had to learn to become more of a YouTube aspect. This video aspect was something new and different to me. And that's how we got started, 2019-ish.
It's been a little while, yeah.
Playing for a few, and you guys are based out of, Rob, where are you based out of?
We're out of the Tampa area, the greater Tampa area. We've got folks that are kind of scattered around. So we fairly early on, Carlos and I did it by ourselves for, I don't know, about a year, maybe a little less than a year. And then Carlos was, idea was that let's open this up. We don't want to do this all ourselves. Let's have friends of ours contribute if they want to come on and just talk about whatever they've been up to. So it really kind of spread. So we've got people kind of scattered all over the Tampa area now. We've got people actually who have moved. Mike, who couldn't be with us tonight, was a Tampa area guy here with us for years, played games with us. He was on the show, and then he moved, relocated to Seattle, I guess about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. And so he's our, we call Beans and Dice West, but we've had some people spread out and go various places. But greater Tampa area, Wesley Chapel is kind of where our center is here, just north of Tampa.
Yeah, what's crazy is we've crossed beans before, BJ. We had met Mitchell Prudhomme.
There you go.
Through the show, he called in one day and told us about games. And next thing you know, he was just a regular every time. And he ended up joining me for an episode on a game designed by Jamie Stegmaier. And at that time, Jamie Stegmaier actually called in to the show while Mitchell was there with me demoing this game, talking about this game. So Mitch was hooked from then on. Son of a Mitch, he was hooked.
There you go.
We're showing off the T-shirt for Patrick Newman. Yeah, so Mitchell was hooked, and then Wayne got rid of him somehow. I'm
what
assuming it's
happened,
that New York thing, right? You kind of he's sleeping with the fishes.
I have
Is that
no
what it
idea
is?
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
we let a New Yorker
Yeah.
in, and
It
things
figures.
changed.
It figures.
Figures?
Yeah.
You got this nice beans and dice thing with Tampa, right? You got the
Yep.
rice and beans over here in Louisiana. Everything's working fine. New Yorker comes sleeping with
Yep.
the fishes.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And
Hey,
I
did you get anything for your little closable suitcase with the money in it, like with the Eric Lang game?
Oh yeah,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The
Been
Godfather.
a peek in there. Yeah. Mhm.
It's interesting because I kind of joined the show, I don't know, almost 2 years ago now, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that. And it was really during the pandemic, and Board Gamer just bored at nights, not being able to get out and game as much. And I started finding all these different YouTube channels, and I just came across this live channel, and these two guys were talking and taking calls. And I watched that show, and then the next week I finally was like, I'm just going to call in. I called in. And I called in a few times, and I did notice that the area code was 813, which is the Tampa area code. And I'm like, well, that could be just a Google number or whatever. And then after I called in a few times, Carlos had said, hey, your phone number is 727. That's St. Pete. We're in Tampa. I'm like, well, that's my work number. I'm actually in Tampa too. And he's like, really? We're in Tampa. I'm like, Lutz. He's like, I'm in Lutz. How far? So we finds out that we were like literally, we're less than 10. We live 10 minutes apart from each other, and didn't really know each other at that point, but I had called him the show, and he's like, well, just come on over and game one night and hang out and join the show. And then the rest is, history as I've been on the show.
Is it true that y'all had that first fateful business meeting at Epperson Lagoon, that famous little place over there?
Pulling the local knowledge.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Hey, Mike's checking in. He's finished buying stuff off of the Portlandia thing, I think. Is that right?
Oh yeah, he was over in the chat over there.
Yeah, one of the founders of the Beans and Dice, Mike. He helped
Absolutely.
me out with a lot of that OBS stuff because
Absolutely.
OBS was a pain. Mike's a trooper. He's our tech guy. He helped me figure out a lot of that early show.
And designing of the logo.
His brother did our logo.
Yep.
It's a beautiful logo. I love it. His brother did our logo for us. Mike was a big part of the show, getting us going.
Mike won nothing. But, if we're going to talk to a New Yorker, we should probably bring in another New Yorker to help me translate, because I don't always get everything Wayne's saying. So
Not always, yeah.
Steve, there he is, the name father, checking in.
Hello, gentlemen. First time caller, long time listener.
There you go.
Love it.
Hey, Steve.
So is Wayne's accent accurate? Is he doing
Wayne's
a good
accent? Wayne's accent is dead on, and with the whacking of Mitchell, I think you have to say leave the gun, take the beignet.
Oh, there you go. I like it. That's a good one.
So
Yeah, we
Carlos
definitely
Smith-
pick on each other a bunch about the accents because I say
English
some
is not
things.
my first language.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. We're going to get that. So where did the How We game itself originated? When did Mitchell come up with that?
Yeah, there you go.
Founding member. I have much love for that red bean. I'll tell you what. I remember the first time he reached out and said, hey, listen, my family and I are going to Tampa for summer vacation. Wanted to see if it'd be okay if I stop by and hang out with you guys in the studio, play some games. And my wife's like, are you crazy?
Just
Are
invite
you
people over out of the
Some
blue.
random dude that you met on the internet is just going to come to our house where our kids sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
And it happened.
Yeah, Florida's a strong, 2A state. So I'm like, it's okay. We got this. Mitch comes over and we have a blast. And then after that, we invite Wayne. Wayne comes over. We have a blast. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to formalize like what you have. Behind the scenes, folks, I get the invite to the show. There's a spreadsheet. It's got a document, highlights, colors, links. Don't click this, but click this. And at this time, we'll do this. That is not me.
Oh, no. No,
right?
no.
And the first thing I wanted to establish for the folks at home was just straight transparency. This is just about how we game. Do not expect professionalism. Do not expect consistency. The one thing you can expect is change, because that's who I am. I'm too busy at work trying to stay consistent and focused on getting that done to make that work after work.
Rob,
so that's
to be honest,
how
I
we
was
game.
just hoping Carlos would open the document. That's all I was hoping for.
just get access it, get in there, do something.
He doesn't even need to add anything. I was just hoping he'd look at it.
Yeah.
I
He told me he
wasn't
did,
exactly
so I'm
sure.
taking his word for it.
I was in there.
He did.
Yeah,
He's in there.
yeah.
I left my presence.
Yeah.
See, but don't highlight everything, because there's some text I put in there in clear. So
It's magic. Yeah.
read my messages.
Invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will leave that out. Where was the impetus for doing it weekly? Because we used to do this show weekly, and then it became, I don't want to say
It's
it, grind,
work.
'cause it's always fun, but it's
Yeah.
work.
Well, I was going to say that was the main thing that we moved to the college show. So the first year or two, we did normal, quote unquote, normal content. We tried to do game playthroughs. We did game reviews. It was mostly just 2 or 3 or 4 of us on the show talking. We didn't do the call-in show right from the very beginning. But one of Carlos's big staples the whole way through is he hates editing. He's like, I want to do something where I don't have to edit things. I don't have to cut and paste things. I don't want to do all that. He said, so whatever we can do that minimizes the work that we have to do outside of the actual show or whatever we're putting on YouTube is the way I want to do it. And so it was his idea for the call-in show. He's like, well, we talk to people, even if it ends up just being our friends around Tampa. He goes, we can go on live. We just take calls. We don't have to do any editing. We're not, doing playthroughs. We're not messing up rules. We're not doing all that kind of stuff. And so we transferred pretty hardcore from doing what we were doing before for this call-in show. And we've been doing the call-in show, what would you say?
Over 3 years now.
Over 3 years now.
I think in December we hit 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
Might have been 4.
4 years? Something like
Oh,
that.
jeez.
But that was the main impetus is again, Carlos was like, no editing, no work, our lives are busy enough. We both have large families. We both have full-time jobs. And so, that gives you some insight of how we made that change. And then, so for the last couple of years, our show, our content on the internet has been probably about 90% just the live call-in show. We do it once a week.
Yeah, we used to do a recording of the podcast after the show, and then that got to be too much, right? Having to stay up till midnight recording a podcast. So we just, the podcast is the call-in show now. Like what happens on the call-in show becomes the audio for the podcast. And Mike had a great comment there where he told me, he said, I told him it was impossible. He proved me wrong, LOL.
Yeah.
Again, back to the origin story of our motto, how we game. These two, Mike and Rob, are insurance guys, conservative guys, risk averse. So when I say things like, hey, let's just make it a call-in show and let people call in, they're like, no, that's stupid. That's crazy. Why would you let people just call in randomly from anywhere?
I thought he was nuts. Yeah. I told him it would never work.
And then we had that first angry gamer.
Let's make sure the chat crew knows. This is like sports talk radio, but with cardboard. I mean, unfiltered for the most part, although, Carlos, you do have the
I try.
Yeah, he tries a little bit. Yeah.
Well, when I have a feeling something's getting a little risky, I will go and screen a call, but we don't have a Steve. Like I'd like to apply for a Steve.
Yeah,
a Steve that kind of runs the.
Steve, you busy on Thursday nights?
No, we got this covered.
They pay plenty better than I do.
I think
100% raise over what I'm getting from you now, right?
There you go.
Double. They're going to double it.
I think BJ, you hit it. I think you're the first person that talked about that connection between that, like just guys bantering about something they love and people calling in and disagreeing, and that sports talk radio thing. Really kind of is what it is. That's like I hit the nail on the head because when I first started watching the show, I'd watch for a couple of weeks and I'm like, oh, I got to call in and talk about the game that they're talking about because that's one of my favorites. Or I hate that game. I got to tell them they're wrong. That's that passion that you
they
get.
Probably don't do it in New York, but around the country they have these things called sports talk shows, and it's just really wild stuff, man.
Yeah. No,
Speaking of that, though, I did have a question. So, Wayne, Carlos is giving me the impression that it's like low maintenance, just focus on the show, make it better each week. And yet, I've got a link in the show notes. Steve, you might want to throw it up there. Favorite Guy Fridays, like throwing one more thing on the pile. How did this happen?
Yeah, that was my thing. I think for most part, I was like, we need a little exposure. We need to get out there a little bit more. We've always been about just doing what we do, not being real worried about how people are gonna take it. It's our opinion. It's how we game. When we record 90% of the time, or we do live 90% of the time here from the studio at Carlos's house, and he's got 5 children now, so it's
5.
I'm double checking. Yeah, 5. Unless I don't know something. He's got 5 kids, and so
they had to confirm there.
I was always worried about things like, what if a baby cries in the background? And that was this The Player's Aid. It's a wargaming channel I watch, and they've always got their kids crying in the background, and they're 25K subs. And I'm like, you know what? If they don't care, if their audience doesn't care enough about that whining kid, then I'm not going to care. And if it does bother you enough where you're that type of person that the sound of a child prevents you from watching the show, then maybe we're not meant to be. And that's how we came up. We're dads. We have kids. Things happen.
Well, I thought you guys did a great job. You picked some great games. Wayne, you picked the networks.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
one of my favorite. And what was the theme of the show?
It was underused themes, and so my underused theme was like movies. Like there was an old Sims game called The Movies where you're developing like a movie studio, and I'm like, where's that like take viticulture but make it worker placement, right?
Oh, that's cool.
You're building like a movie studio, and so like Networks was like closest thing I could come up with there.
I did like the Networks, but the 2-player version of the Networks, and I think Patrick Newman will back me up on this. The 2-player version of the Networks is just a blast. I really like it. Carlos, you picked Crusaders.
I picked games themed in the Great Commission. The closest one that I had was Crusaders. So the Great Commission, the Great Christian Commission, is to go out and make disciples of the world, right? Establish churches. So I'd like to see a Concordia-style game where you're not taking over, but you're planting churches in cities, right? You're growing and expanding. So instead of trading in the Mediterranean, you're more focused on the Great Commission. I know there's a game called Commission. Y'all in the comments can chill out.
Oh yeah,
there is one called Commission, but that's a cooperative game.
What about Jerusalem though? Have you played Jerusalem yet?
Not yet, but I'm seeing like more and more Christian-based themes coming out. What's the other one by Shem Phillips that's coming out? Rebuilding the wall in Jerusalem.
Yeah, exactly. Nehemiah and Ezra. Yeah.
Yep. So not Ezra from the Rebel Star Wars show, just
Ezra Bridger. Well, I thought it was better than Ezra. I was like, wow, they're doing a game about New Orleans.
Better than Ezra.
This is amazing. Super excited with that one, Steve.
But more good games are coming out. If you grew up in a Christian home, you know the parents or the grandparents.
Don was right on there, Carlos. Look at that.
It's just guys, I beat you, Don. I win. If you grew up in a Christian home, you know that you have family members that saw your desire to play like Dungeons and Dragons and other games. They're like, "Oh, Carlito, eso del diablo. That's from the devil," right? And they would come to you with these horrible Christian themed games, like terrible Sorry-like or Monopoly spin-offs with a Christian theme on it. And I'm like, we need really good games. That was my. And I think I went a little long on this one too. I went long on that segment. So energized about it.
It was like a minute segment, but I think it was 48 seconds of Carlos.
Just about. Yeah.
And look, I did link it. Make sure. Hey, look, the Dice Tower cares about this stuff. Make sure you go check out the segment. It's at the 650 mark or thereotouts, if I remember right. You won't.
What's crazy is we uploaded like early. We uploaded that first week, and then there were two other shows that uploaded after us. One of them talked about movies, and then the other one talked about movies and Christian themes. Wow. I'm like, one show did those two, and I'm like, come on, bro. But that tells us we have our fingers on the pulse of gaming.
Sure.
Like, we're not the only ones.
Rob, I apologize. It's the best screen grab I got. So
that's all right. That's all right.
Maybe not super flattering, but
I could sell that. Oh yeah, like I could sell downloads of that picture alone.
Hey, who did the thumbnail for you, Carlos? Who was your buddy? The thumbnail with Rob with the two
Oh, that's BJ. That was hilarious. Rob's comment on I love this game. It was great. 3 out of 10.
It was Challengers, right?
Yeah. Challengers. That was yep. Fun game, great time. So
I'm not a thumbnail person. Like thumbnails are hard for me.
3 out of 10.
Steve, he went on and on and on about it. And I'm listening to the podcast. I'm like, I'm all happy. I'm listening to it. He's going on and on. And then he goes, 2 out of 10. Like, what? 2 out of 10? Did that sound like a 2 out of 10? Oh, man.
You have to stay for the twist at the end.
I get excited. Yeah. Get all wound up.
Stay for it.
And my theme there was Westerns. Even though there are a fair number of Western games out there, I can't get enough of Western games. And so I used Dice Town. Carlos had that on the shelf. That's one of my favorite, just light rolling dice, having fun. But anything in the Western theme I enjoy. So I'd like to see lots of good Western games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that one that Johnny Pack did, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the
Sierra West.
That one is great. Yeah, that one is great. But it's Fistful of Meeples. It's a great name. But
Verla beat you to it.
Oh, she's Verla got it right there now. Yeah. Great Western Trail's another one.
On top of it, man.
Great Western Trail's another. That's why she's the Gumbo Overlord. It's we're just visiting.
No, here. She's texting me my script in real time. I'm just reading a teleprompter in front of me.
Speaking of Verla, the next topic I wanted to talk about was friend cons, because there is no better expert on friend cons than Verla, the board gaming ambassador. But ambassador, maybe you have some tips, or you want to hear about their versions. They do a lot of game days. They've got the Dice Tower game day that I know some of the guys go to, and then you've got the Tampa Gaming Guild. Maybe Wesley Chapel even has some gaming, I'm assuming.
They do.
Yeah, tell me about yours.
What's the appeal of these friend cons and game days?
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll cut to the back of the book. Right, we'll go right to the back of the book. Southern Board Game Fest broke us kind of. It was like right around that time.
Good times.
I had my kid in early November, so it was like right after Sobo, and then Rob came back with an injury. So he was on the disabled list.
DL, yeah.
On the DL. Wait, they call it the injured reserve
Yeah,
now?
IR.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
IR. The IR list. From his trip in Louisiana, he busted up his eye out there. Like, I don't know what y'all were doing out in the French Quarter fighting
too much
people or
boudin,
whatnot.
man.
Yeah,
Too much cayenne.
Exactly.
So we had to really cut back lately our game days. Like Rob and I couldn't host them or promote them. You know, I've got a new infant, 5 kids in the house, so we haven't been back. But before that, so we'll go to the front of the book. Thank you for that. I love that
Thank you.
sticker. Before that, we were doing what started was just game days at my house.
Yeah.
And it was once a month. We do a second Saturday game day at the house. And next thing you know, it blew up to too many people. We ended up
growing.
moving to a game shop.
Yep.
Next thing you know, Dan, our buddy Dan, who's part of our game group, opens up a gaming cafe. We move it out to Wesley Chapel, and now we're getting 40 people at a second Saturday game day from all over the Tampa Bay area, from South Tampa all the way to North Wesley Chapel and Zephyr Hills. That gives you kind of the run of the gamut of the east side of Tampa, and then all the way for the west side on the water, you got your Newport Richies and your St. Pete and your Clearwaters, like Diego coming across the bridge all the way to north to Zephyr Hills to play games. We had really good groups and really good times.
Yeah, we had people drive an
It was
hour
a great
and a half
community.
to get here. And
to the point that whenever we went to Dice Tower, we were recognized. Like our group showed up with homemade shirts. They were making homemade Beans and Dice shirts to wear at Dice Tower, meeting up together. We were doing our live show from the hallways, and they were all sitting back there. You know, I'd ordered pizza. It's a great community, great group. My hope is that as we get into a rhythm here at the Cabrera house with the new baby, and then Rob continues to heal from his IR, that we'll get back to a place where we can establish second Saturdays again.
for sure.
And I think what well, I'll just add to that is people think of Tampa. Tampa's not a huge city, right? It's not like New York City or Chicago, but Tampa's a giant area. Like it's an hour drive. Tampa Bay. It's an hour and a half drive from one side of Tampa Bay to the other. You know, for me to go, I'm in North Tampa. To me to go to the southern side of Tampa, it's an hour drive. So
our county is the ninth largest, sixth largest county in the country when it comes to school districts.
School districts, yeah.
Wow.
So it's big.
That's big.
And so what you've seen is like each little area within Tampa Bay has gaming groups. So you have the Wesley Chapel gaming group. There's the Brandon board game group. There's the Lakeland board game group. There's the Tampa Gaming Guild. There's like a Lutz gaming group. And so like there's all these disparate sort of gaming groups all throughout the Tampa Bay area, and they all have Facebook pages and they all host events, and it's all kind of open. Everyone can come and game. Some of them are at like bars, some of them are at like game stores, some of them are at like the Tampa Gaming Guild, which has a physical location where they rent a bridge club. So there's like an old, bridge club that operates during the week, and the women or men who own the bridge club rent out the building to the Tampa Gaming Guild, so that they have gaming nights a couple times a week, and you can become a member for a small fee for the year. So there's like basically any night of the week in the Tampa Bay area, one or more of those game groups has a meetup where if you're available, you can just go game. And usually it's 10, 20, 30 people per night at any one of those meetups around the area. So you can
And what's cool is like Sauron, we come in with the one ring to bind them all, right? We get the best of the best from all those groups.
Oh, yeah.
Show up at our Saturday game days, right? Because we're such a niche, small show.
Sure.
I think we're pushing 700 subscribers right now, and it took
people,
40 years to make that happen. We're such a small niche group. It's really the dedicated gamers that know about us, and they come and show up and they show out. Like we're talking some high quality gems of games that get brought in and shared with others to play with.
God, it's got to make your heart sing there, Verla, hearing about all this, huh?
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
I love
Good
it.
tips
I
in
love
there.
hearing what other people are doing.
We got to talk about some spicy hot games. So let me see if I can get one. I want to hear some thoughts on this one. And this is one that our whole Gumbo crew is going to know about. So PJ from Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guests here, Wayne and Rob and Carlos from the Beans and Dice podcast, and we're talking spicy hot games. And we can't talk about the spiciest hot game without talking about No Thanks. Carlos, you put this on the list. So you finally got a chance to touch the greatness of No Thanks.
We say that, but in its iterations, this game has been so ugly and looks so big box store, like
It's
right
numbers.
on its front. Right, it's numbers
Numbers
with
on
some
cards.
pips, and I'm
Yep.
like, pass, and then you see the price under $10, pass. This is a snobby gamer in me. I'm being honest. It's the snobby gamer in me. And I never gave it a second look. And I always heard people say they love it, right? Just like I hear people say they love Monopoly and they love, playing Uno, right? So I kind of put it in that category. But then we had a phone call a couple weeks ago, and the callers were talking about No Thanks came up, And then I pulled it up online, and Wayne was talking about getting it, and I just kind of, that next morning, I couldn't get it off my brain. Thought about it all night, pulled the trigger. It was here the next day. We played it with the family. Immediately on night one, I think it was 3 or 4 sessions back to back to back. What was supposed to be just like one game, I just want to learn the rules and see how this plays because I'm reading the rules and it doesn't make sense, turned into the family saying, no, put it back. We're not done yet. We'll clean up afterwards. We'll clean up dinner afterwards. Let's do it again. And let's do it again. And then Poppy's won 3 times in a row. No, let's do it again.
Yep.
So this is not the version I have. Is this the version you have, or do you have the one with the minis and the dual layer player boards?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? the game
You gotta
sound
paint,
version?
you got to paint them though. You got to paint them.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I'm
I don't
out.
have this one. I think I have the Heidelbar version of it, but they're all pretty much the same. thing.
Yeah.
That's
The
the
premise,
Amigo version is what we just bought.
Steve, you know the premise of this game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tried not to score points. You're trying to stick everybody else with points, and you're trying to grab cards and coins. But the trick is the high cards will do some damage to you. But if you can get a run, it's only the lowest card. So as we keep going around and around and around, playing a very overproduced game, as Mike says, it's that fun decision where the coins are all hidden. And everybody's got to decide, okay, who's the one that's going to take the hit? I did hear, I know you guys are fans of the Secret Ball, just like I am. When I heard Jamie describe his long time, ambivalence to no thanks, and then he found out it's because he's been playing, Steve, with open information about the coins everybody has.
No.
Oh,
That's
No.
like a completely different game.
yeah.
Because the thing is, you want to shake your hand and people don't know whether you have 1 coin or 10, right?
But it is an optional rule, right? So it is in a rule book, and the family decided they were
really?
going. Yeah, it says in there you can play with them in your hand, but if you have trouble holding them, it's okay to leave them on the table. So I had my kids playing too, and they were like, "I don't want to hold these things." They're like, "My hands are getting sweaty." Right? We play the first round, the first game, and next thing I know, they're all hoarding them like Gollum, precious. And like, nobody look, and they're kind of looking in there and counting 1, 2. No thanks.
That whole secret thing. Yeah.
Hey, the ghost of Mitchell Prudhomme showed up from somewhere.
There he is.
It Long Island Bay? Do I have that my geography
Yeah,
right?
he's somewhere
by
out
the
there.
by the Meadowlands.
Yeah, but he's in the Meadowlands. Yeah,
Underneath the Meadowlands? Yeah.
He
Yeah.
heard a couple of Lord of the Rings references, and his ear was ringing. He couldn't
way
help
out,
it.
way out in Sea Caucus. He's all right.
Man, this is like a Sobo 2023 reunion here.
Meet
That's
up.
what-
Yeah,
That's what we're
exactly.
doing here.
This is the example of the dangers of the live call-in show, because when you get people calling in to profess their love of how they game, you end up buying a lot of games. And I think Carlos and I are the worst at it. Like we're literally be in the midst of the show, and while the person's talking about how they love No Thanks, I'm on Amazon, I'm on other sites.
And this
Add to cart, buy it now. Right?
And
Hey,
this is a
Wayne.
game that on Board Game Arena, I just want to pop in there that I think that's why we're hearing more about this. I had never played this game until about a month ago, and I was just kind of surfing through Board Game Arena looking for some games. And I was like, oh, no thanks. I've heard of that before. Let's pop in. I started playing with random people online, and then I started talking to people in our group, and I set up a couple of games. People jumped in, and all of a sudden now it's a popular game in the Beans and Dice group. So, yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Took
tell you
took you all a long time to say yes, please, to no thanks.
Yes, there you
Yes,
go.
please.
Yeah.
So the greatest thing ever
That must be
happened
the
to me.
subliminal messaging of it. Like every time I saw
Yeah.
it, I was like, man, not today.
No thanks.
Right. Like maybe they don't know that by calling it that and put it in big, 48 font red Arial black letters, I continued to say no.
I mean, because I'm guessing this version, that's the chips that you play, because mine are red chips. They look like little red poker chips.
They're upgraded. These are more of a plastic, I wouldn't call it Bakelite, but they're not like your plastic chips. They're thicker,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they have a little
Black
more
beans?
weight to them. They're not beans. They're
Close.
They're one side is flat, one side is curved.
They're almost like Othello.
Yes, like Othello pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Which
now
make
I
them
know.
harder to pick up and move around. I'll tell you that. And then they're very flat, so you can tell when you get your hands all sweaty, like because they go from flat to glossy. Like it gets pretty nasty when you start handing them around to people.
Sweaty.
Yes.
Have you played Przinchik yet? Have you played that one? That version? Probably not, huh?
No, not
Yeah.
yet.
Probably
Not yet.
Nazi.
I think that was the original German version. I think because it had to do with presents you were given, and you had to decide which ones to take or not. Hence the ribbon on there. You see the
There you go.
theming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're
Well,
trying
that's
to, so almost like a white elephant thing where you're trying to get someone else to get suckered into the bad one.
That's
Nice.
no thanks. Fantastic game. It's always on me and Steve and Verla's list, or at least I don't know about Verla, but for sure me and Steve's list as stocking stuffer type gifts, or just got to have it in your travel bag. But if anybody wants to play with them, you can, like Rob said, we're going to destroy the board game universe by recommending that you try it on Board Game Arena.
Exactly. Ruining board gaming.
We have that version, what we call the aquarium stones. Oh, okay.
Cool.
That's
Aquarium
interesting.
stones.
Okay.
That is no thanks. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, I have
the
a good
fatty
one.
in me would say if you covered them in like white little sprinkles, it would look like those chocolates you get at the movie theater, the snow caps.
Oh, snow
There you
caps.
go.
That's what they're kind of shaped like, and I have trouble
Okay.
not wanting to.
BJ from
test
Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guests here, Rob and Wayne and Carlos from the Beans and Dice podcast. We're talking spicy hot games. And one of those games, a game I've actually got to play. I think Steve's ambivalent, but maybe Rob can sell us on Dune Imperium Uprising.
Oh no! I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion on this game. So
Oh, no.
Dune Imperium.
All right, that's it, folks.
Yeah,
We'll
there it
see
is.
you next week on Gumbo Live.
Dune Imperium is one of my all-time favorites. It is in my top 10 Hall of Fame games that I will play anytime, anywhere. It hits the table. I love Dune Imperium with expansions, without expansions, however we want to do it. So then we got this new version that came out, and I was a little late to play in. I only played it probably the first time a couple of months ago, and I did not like the additions that this game made, specifically the spies that it adds to the game. That was one decision that I just wasn't ready for, and I didn't know a whole lot about coming into it, so somebody was teaching it to me. I was like, I know Dune Imperium. I've heard this game is almost identical. I'll pick it up. It'll be easy, no problem. And then they introduced this idea of spies. I like the idea of what the spies were trying to do. I guess in a worker placement game, it gave you an option to put out these little pieces on the board that allowed you that typically, normally in Dune Imperium, if somebody is occupying a spot, you cannot go to that spot until the game resets at the end of every round and all that stuff is cleared off. But now you've got these little spy spots that you can put out that allow you to reserve one or in some cases two different places that if somebody is there, you can still go to that spot just by pulling the spy off. And so it allows you to not be so blocked off of places that you can go and things you can visit. But again, my first play, I was completely unprepared for that. And I took a game that was probably, I tend to be a little bit of an AP gamer, a little bit. I've gotten better over the years from what I understand. But
Lies detected.
Yeah.
Lies detected.
But now you gave me this decision of, and it seems super important to me the first time I played. I was like, I've got to pick the spot that in the next couple of rounds, somewhere that I know that I'm going to want to go, but somebody's likely to block me out of. So it was this extra layer of thinking ahead, another decision to have to make that I completely was unprepared for. So that first game, I won't lie, I took probably what should have been an hour and a half game and probably stretched it to over 2 hours just because every time I had to place one of these spies, and I ended up picking up some cards that allowed me to place extra spies, and that decision was just locking me up and killing me. So I got a chance to play it a second time about a month ago. We played here in the studio, and it was Carlos's first play, so we were teaching him the game. Wayne, you had played before, correct?
Not Uprising, but Dune Imperium, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you
It's
hadn't played
my
Uprising
first
either.
one, yep.
Okay.
So
I
is
was
this
kinda
an
teaching him.
expansion or standalone? If I may
It is,
real quick.
it is standalone.
It is standalone? Okay.
Yep. And my unpopular opinion is that everybody who I was hearing, all the reviews, everywhere I looked, people were saying this game is the superior game. And Carlos will tell you, he believes that this is the superior gamers version of Dune Imperium. It adds some,
I would never say that.
Oh, adds some extra decisions, makes it a little crunchier, makes it a little more exciting. Through some mechanisms in it, it kind of ramps up to the end game, and you can score a lot of points late in the game, which you really couldn't do so much in regular Dune Imperium. But Uprising gave you an opportunity to double up the points, and this is a game that's tied anyway. It's only to 10 points. Whoever gets to 10 points wins the game. And you're talking about a game that's usually between an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and you're just trying to get to 10 points. And so I played it again, just to make a long story short, played it again about a month ago, and I came out of it flat again. I said, you know what? I think I disagree with what I'm hearing from everybody. I do understand that this game is there's more going on. There's more decisions. It frees up some things by giving you the spy that allows you not to block out of certain areas. But again, those extra decisions were just something I didn't need. I didn't want in my Dune Imperium. And I think I'm happy with the base, just Dune Imperium.
Yeah, I'm with Rob. Like this is the what are they? There's a lot of it's Dune, colon, Imperium, / Uprising.
Yeah, too many things.
Is the superior version of Dune Imperium.
There you go.
That's what that is.
Superior.
It is superior in ways because it prevents the lockout, right? So you're not going to get locked out of places. It allows for strategic depth because you're going to be starting, instead of being a tactical game, I felt Dune Imperium was just tactical. I got these cards in my hand. This is all I'm limited to. This is all I will do this round, whatever's in this 5-card draw, right? It's very small.
Right.
These are my locations. This is all I'm doing. How can I tactically use this? It takes it to a strategic level. And then it changes the cadence of how you score points. In original Dune, you tend to start scoring points on turn 1, turn 2. Now, you're already in the fight. You're having to commit units after you haven't even had a chance to build an engine. Right, Steve, you drew 5 cards. You drew 5 cards and you bought 1, right? Okay, so next turn, you have to go fight. And like, wait a minute. All I did was add a card, which didn't help me because I drew 5 more cards of the base cards anyway, right? So I wasn't really able to set up for this fight. Whereas in Dune Imperium Uprising, the battles are every round, just like the game. The game has a deck of combat rounds. Every round, there will be a battle. But the points really start coming towards that second, third of the game. And they really ramp up in that last quarter where they start to see double points. And then Rob talked about the worms being able to double the points. So if it's a 2-point victory combat and you have a worm, you're getting 4 victory points for it. But the way it mitigates that is by adding the shield wall mechanism. All the combats that occur at the end of the game are occurring in the cities that are behind the shield wall. Someone has to commit a lot of resources to break down that shield wall in order to open the doubling of the points, which is really where it's at. But then you've got these matching. I love that. Christopher Walken in the movie. I laughed out loud when Christopher Walken showed up in the movie theater, and like the guy next to me like shushed me, like it was. It's Christopher Walken, like more cowbell. Let's go. Back to the shield wall, the doubling, and then the combat cards all have symbols on them, such as thopters, daggers. The mouse, the
set collection in there.
So there's set collection. If you can win a combat to a card that you already have face up with that matching symbol, you now get an extra point on top of that. So it also drives that King of the Hill aspect. So I could, like Wayne and I know Rob wants to get that. So Wayne and I look at each other. Who's going to let Rob have that point? Are you really going to let him have it? Right? I can't afford to fight that fight, and then Wayne will fight it. Right? We played that game. For all those reasons, this is the superior version of Dune Imperium.
I'm the base game.
I'm in between the two of these guys.
What do you think? What do you think, Wayne?
So I'm like I said, I'm in between them. I think I prefer base Dune. I do love the spy aspect of it because I kind of like worker placement games, but I'm not a huge fan of worker placement games where you get blocked out, right? But I do worry that the worms are so powerful in this game that almost your first couple of turns are dictated. You have to get reputation with the Fremen so you can get access to the hook so you can start getting worms, because they're such a big component of the end of the game. And if you're not in those last few battles of the game with worms or the potential for it, you're done, right? So I actually like both of them. I wouldn't mind both of them. Yeah, I'm the Netherlands. I'm Sweden, man, not Netherlands. Come on.
In between.
I own Dune and the expansion, so I don't see a need to go out and get Dune Imperium. But like, if I didn't own anything, I would probably get Dune Imperium, right? So that there's improvements in Dune Imperium that I think are good.
Uprising, mean?
Yeah, Uprising. Sorry, I would get an Uprising if I didn't already own Dune Imperium and the expansions, because I think the expansions add enough too. I like the idea of wiping the card draw area if you can't find what you need once per game in one of the expansions. So I'm kind of in between both. I think they're both fantastic games. One is definitely more gamery and fixes some of the issues with the first one, but they're both quality. So,
but Verla touched on it. Verla touched on it real quick. She did about the confusion with the box. Like, what is this? What is this next to that one? Which one's the base game? Which one's the original, or is this an expansion? Right? There's confusion. Direwolf Digital made a mistake, right, by calling it Dune Imperium. They made a mistake, flat out. Period.
I agree.
Because I put a caveat on what Wayne said. I do not own Dune Imperium. I do own Dune Imperium Uprising, but I am also very much tugged and pulled into getting Dune Imperium because Dune Imperium is a more medium weight game,
right?
More welcoming than Dune Imperium Uprising would be. And if they could have just did a distinction in the titles, they could have sold more copies, less confusion. It feels like which version of Viticulture do I buy? The first, second, third, fourth, fifth edition, the essentials? Do I get the Tuscany? Do I get the cheese?
It's in the name. It's essential.
It's Tuscany essential, by the way. It's Tuscany essential.
It's in the name. So I've only played it once, but my one sentence review is that Dune Imperium Uprising is the Dune Imperium of Dune games.
There you go.
That's what I think it is. So Steve and Burla, you have not played Dune Imperium Uprising?
I haven't played any of the Dune games at all.
Is it a play? Is it a pass? Is it a purchase?
It would have to be a play for me because I have played Dune Imperium, and it may have been that the one particular instance fell flat. Did not work terribly well for me. And from what you're saying, part of that might have been some potential flaws or gears that needed to be greased, because our particular experience was a bit of a runaway leader effect. And there was no cat. It was very clear my game was done-ish halfway through.
Yeah.
That might be a bit of a harsh judgment based on one game.
Yeah, I think you'd
but
like
it did
to
not
try
land
it.
for me.
Yeah,
This would be worth a try. But at the same time, since so many people love Dune Imperium, I'm always wondering with this, when it comes out and there's a new fresh version that adds layers on top of it, this "but wait, there's more" thing kind of kills me sometimes, because you should have done the work in advance to say, okay, this is enough, rather than having to say.
Steve is
"But wait,
always
there's more."
suspicious. He's always suspicious of that. He is. Burla, what about you? Play, pass, or purchase? What do you think?
I'd play it. I haven't played the original. I've got a friend that really, really wants me to, and he even left it at my house for a few months and then never taught it to me. So it hasn't happened yet. I haven't been particularly drawn to it, but I haven't read the books. I haven't seen the movies. It's not something that calls to me, but I would try it.
All right, that's the
Heard good
verdict on
things.
that. That is the verdict on that. BJ from Morgan Gumbo. I've got my guests here, the Beans and Dice podcast. I got Carlos and Rob and Wayne, and we're talking spicy hot games. And by now, Carlos has figured out that I'm doing this because I also hate editing. And I want to hear Wayne talk about a game that I played a long time ago, way back at Gen Con, probably 2017, 2018. Haven't played it since, maybe 2016. Haven't played it since then, but I did enjoy my plays, and there's tons of content. Wayne, Flashpoint Fire Rescue, yay or nay?
It's a yay for me. I think my family is big into cooperative games, so we've played a ton of them. And I think I probably, like you, I probably hadn't played this in 4 or 5 years, and I own everything for it, all the expansions and everything. But I think what spurred me in the last couple of weeks to get it back off the shelf was they just kickstarted a legacy version of Flashpoint Fire Rescue.
That's right.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. It's going to be, it'll be the Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion book kind of thing, where you're opening up and you're developing firefighters over the course of like 10 or 12 or 15 different events and scenarios.
Look how prepared I am, Carlos. I mean, I got the graphic up right away.
There you go, right away. But I think so. Flashpoint Fire Rescue, you're playing firefighters, obviously, and what I think I love about this game is it comes in the base box. There's 2 different versions. There's a very family-friendly version that you can play, which is very midweight. It eliminates a lot of kind of the special things and like, chemical explosions or like, flash flyovers or things like that. And then you can play a more advanced version. So I can take this out and play with my kid who's 9 and my wife, or I could then also play with Rob and Carlos on a more sort of advanced version. And so it's basically you're trying to fight fires. There's smoke in a building, and you're trying to rescue a certain number of people before either the fire overtakes the building or there's enough damages to the structural integrity of the building where the building kind of collapses. And what I like is with all the different expansions, there are 2-story houses. There's an airplane scenario. There's like a high-rise scenario where there's elevators, so that it really brings in all the different aspects of firefighting. And I say this because I probably said this on the my father was a fireman. Kind of Irish Catholic kid from New York. Big shock. Comes from a family with firemen in it, right? But so it really does. All the different expansions kind of bring in a lot of stuff of like, how do you fight a fire with jet fuel? How do you fight a fire, in a building with elevators? And then the idea of going in and you're trying to rescue people. And then in further expansions, they differentiate the firefighters. You can have different types of firefighters, like a hazmat guy and someone who specializes with a dog, or someone who specializes with like a reader to find hotspots and things like that. And then even in later expansions, one of the mechanics that kind of people didn't like was how you roll for hotspots. And when the hotspots show up, you create kind of flashovers. and it's with dice and in the grid. And in later expansions, they kind of brought in an event deck where you can flip over events, and that's how it drives the fire spreading in the building that you're playing with. So I think, in the base game, there's a 3 or 4 different modules or scenarios you can play. But with all the various expansions, there are tons of boards. So you can, you've got like 10 or 15 different types of firefighters and, 10 or 15 different maps that you can create and scenarios you can play. And then you have the event decks. And now eventually you'll have a legacy game, which after you finish with legacy game, you can use aspects of all the base game there. So there's a lot of different things you can do there. And with just the base game, you can have a base game, simple game to teach your family, or a more complex game you can play with, more hardcore gamers. And then if you do like it, you can simply keep buying and adding to those expansions. So it's kind of stayed the test of time. And I busted it out and loved it, and realized I own it on Steam now, so I can go play on Steam, which is a good little way to kind of teach yourself how to play. So it's just a game that I've enjoyed, and I like to see that the legacy game is kind of reinvigorating interest in it, because I think it's a really, really fun cooperative game.
Patrick wants to know, though, who is your favorite Flashpoint role? And I'm assuming it's the Farzug Führer or the Gefar stuff expert.
You got to go with the Fire Dog, man, right? You got to go
Fire Dog. Okay. Has anybody else played it besides Wayne? Anybody?
Yes, we have.
I played it like 4 or 5 years ago at a meetup, one of my first meetups. I remember playing that. I don't love co-op games, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't like enough to buy a copy for myself, but I could get into it if I needed to.
Patrick says the Generalist. Anybody a fan of the Generalist? Anybody?
Yeah. If I'm correct in remembering, that's the one that you get a lot of extra action points, so you can kind of.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. I don't remember. It's been years since I played. Carlos and I, this is one of the ones that we constantly say. We played this together when he was just bringing me into gaming, probably over 10 years ago, and into board gaming. And we keep saying, why don't we ever pull that game out and play it? I own it. I don't have all the expansions like Wayne does, but it's just one of these games we just need to get back to the table, and I'm confident once we get it out, we'll probably play it over and over again. But it's been a while since I played it. I know there's one of the characters has extra movement, and I always felt movement was big in this game, kind of getting around, getting to places. I'm not sure which character that is, but that was always my favorite character.
Well, whenever we do play, we have roles. Like, you play Will Baldwin, and I'm Kurt Russell. Yeah. Wait a minute. That's the 1991 movie Backdraft.
When I did play this with my family last week, I did have the Backdraft soundtrack on. So
nice.
You got to have theme music, right?
Mr. Jeeves is checking in. He says, "What the heck? It's not Thursday night," and that's right, because Carlos is not in control of the camera.
Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines, folks. Phone lines are now open.
813-799.
Shout out to Mr. Jeeves. He's Kyle. He's on Board Game Geek. He's a photographer, and his board game photography is phenomenal.
Excellent.
I have voted for that. I have voted the one that he won.
The
I
Obsession
actually voted for that one. So
yeah, it's got good stuff.
He made Hall of Fame BGG photographer.
Yep.
So he is in the BGG Hall of Fame.
Congrats.
We know people like, okay, you might have like really fancy designers on here. I don't know, Wingspan and stuff. We got Kyle, the BGG Hall of Fame photographer.
Yeah.
And Tom from Florida.
Yeah.
And Tom from Florida.
I'll give you that one. BJ Board Game Gumbo, I've got my guests here, the Beans and Dice crew. I've got Rob and Carlos and Wayne, and we're talking spicy hot games. I'm going to throw one that I bet they have not played, and that's because I'm playing the prototype copy of it, but I've played it almost a half a dozen times now. It is the Sixth Realm from Final Frontier Games. If that name and that artwork sound familiar, it's because these are the guys that did Merchant's Cove, one of my all-time favorite games, and it's art from the Micho. You've seen the Micho in, everything from the Shim Phillips games to all these other games that he's done. I forgot the one with the all the different cards and the civilizations that is super complicated, but I do enjoy it. And I've played 4 times, Mitchell, so far. I'm pretty sure 4 times, 3 as a 2-player, and then 1 finally as a 3-player. It's coming out on Kickstarter tomorrow, if I remember right, and it's designed by some names that are going to make Steve and Berla happy. And that's Matthew Dunstan and Seth Jaffe, the Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done, Carlos, and Drake Villarreal. Drake has done a couple of different games.
Candy. What's the candy game they did?
Who's that?
Dunstan. Dunstan did. He did. Continue.
He did a donuts game or something.
Chocolate Factory, right? Didn't he do Chocolate Factory?
Oh, I think
Dunstan.
So.
Yep.
I think so.
I think
Dunstan did Chocolate Factory?
I believe so.
Well,
Oh,
Carry
I
on.
remember that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's your segment now.
No, that's okay. So that the brand is reminding me it's Imperium Legends, Imperium Classics, and all that. So
Yep.
we got some big name designers, and I've really enjoyed the Sixth Realm. I am enjoying it enough to where I want to explore it more. It is not Merchant's Cove though. So people that are going into this Kickstarter thinking it's just an extension of Merchant's Cove, it's different. And Berto, this is going to make you happy. For me, it felt like a mashup of Stefan Feld and the Italian designers if they mashed up and had grandkids. That's kind of what this. I don't know how that would work. You go right to maybe they adopted. They adopted and went right to grandparenthood. Yeah. So Wayne.
All right, you have me intrigued.
I think Wayne is in the chat and he's also in the show. So it's kind of an Inception thing going on.
This is the professionalism you were talking about at the start of the show, wasn't it, Carlos?
That doesn't happen.
Yes.
We have a Wayne.
Let me see if I can find some more about it. So Sixth Realm, let me explain to you real quick. The theme is kind of cool, and I know Rob loves theme. So Rob and Mitchell. So we got to talk about that. It's that same world as Merchant's Cove, but there's this area of the world that's been blocked off by fog and poisonous gas, and it finally dissipates. And we learn that back in the olden days, the sixth races that haven't been getting along actually did get along for a long time. They were prosperous and they were in peace. It's our job to bring all the guilds into this area, the Sixth Realm, and just revitalize this area that has been long dormant. How do we do that? Sort of in an homage to Merchant's Cove. Instead of each player having their own unique player board, you have to teach the game, by learning from this little rule book, which isn't actually as hard as it sounds. I think Merchant's Cove does a good job of doing these multiplayer games where everybody's asymmetrical. The board itself is different. So think Trajan or Marrakesh or one of those where you've got mini games all over the board. You got to learn how each one of those works. And the fun part of the game is over the 3 years, figuring out the best matchup between the 6 guilds that's going to have some kind of synergy. Frankly, it's going to be different every game because the way that the guilds operate, we're going to do it in the course of 6 turns, 6 rounds, basically, where all of us take a turn in whichever guild is active on the board. But that lineup, sort of like in Toledo, where you can do it randomly with the lineup of the different spots. Same thing here. It's random every time. So you never know how the guilds are going to operate. Maybe the one guild that is going to give you the resources you need to do the stuff you want to do in the builders isn't next to it. It comes after it in the next game. So you've got to think, how can I maximize the different mini games? And it's been a struggle for me. I've gotten walloped every game. I mean, absolutely walloped in every game. I'm trying my best, but it is hard for a guy like me to look at this beautiful board with the Micho art and all the different mini games. And I just want to. I'm sort of like the kid in the candy store. I just want to try everything. I just want to just walk around and try all the different stuff. And that's where I've been struggling on the thing. So I'm really enjoying it. I do want to play it more, but it's not Merchant's Cove, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's got the mini games from Stefan Feld and it's got the combo-liciousness of my favorite Italian designers. So think like Coimbra or Grand Austria Hotel, where in the first part of the game you're struggling to get something going, or Toledo. That's another good example. You're struggling. Yes, totally. The walloping is not a good thing, Duga. It's a terrible thing. But by that 3rd year, even the 2nd year, even the 1st year, if you're good at it, not me, but the 2nd and 3rd year, you're putting together combos where you're actually taking 4 or 5 or 6 actions with all the different little free actions. So if that's the kind of games you like, you should at least check out the Sixth Realm. This is not a paid promotion, by the way. It's just they sent me this prototype and I got to send it on. Maybe Tampa wants it. Maybe.
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 Sounds like my kind of game. Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts? Have I destroyed any interest in this game, or have I hyped it up enough? What are we talking about?
The way you describe it sounds like Marrakesh with all the separate games. So it's really just like you have to focus quickly. Right. If you're like you and probably like Carlos, where you're just all over the place, it's just not going to work well, right?
If you don't want to be walloped.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Or a simplified version, it would be Millie Fury. It sounds like, because again, you got different areas that score different ways. So you got to kind of figure out the little puzzle on where do I want to go, where do I want to be, and how do I want to chain those things together in that area to maximize those points. That I mean, it's this is obviously a heavier game, and I enjoy heavier games. I liked Millie Fury, but this one sounds like it's up my my Euro gamey alley here.
Rob, what if Millie Fury went to MIT and triple majored in biochemistry, computer engineering, and risk analysis?
Cha-ching.
That would
sounds
be,
like
it is definitely from that aspect. That's a good analogy. It's like a much deeper, much thinkier version of
Millie
Fury. Although I don't remember there's a lot of combo wombos in Millie Fury. It's pretty much, play something, and Millie Fury is also about timing too.
Right.
You've got to hit those spots at the right time. So,
Yep.
but it's a good. I know what you're saying, that all the different areas of the board and how those will combo. You can Millie Fury, you're going to lose if you try to do everything, right?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
just can't do everything, and that's my problem. I just want to do everything in there. So, well, maybe that's why I don't win, Mitchell, because I don't see the combos in it. Maybe that's it. Any other
Its
thoughts?
description of no combos. Something that's not how I've heard it described.
If Mitchell taught you Millie Fury, then maybe there was a couple of rules left out or
Uh-oh.
something.
That answers it. Shots
Steve,
fired.
Steve, what you thought?
This would need to be a try for me, definitely.
Hey, it's a family show, Dave. Let's slow down there. Slow your
yeah,
roll there, man.
Duga. Yeah.
Duga.
This would have to be a try for me. For what you're describing when you let off with the cross pollination idea, that certainly got there. But then talking about all the different locations, it sounded Trajanish. It sounded like there's going to be a lot to track, and I need to wrap my head around that by sitting at the table with it.
That's why I love the brand. Winning is overrated. It's all about the experience, right?
For sure.
Carlos, you've been quiet.
Yeah, because what I get out of it are some of the games that I don't do well at, but I still enjoy, right? So there are games where I'm doing a lot of things because there are a lot of things on the menu. Whatever you like to do, you can do some of that. You want to try something different? Well, some over here. Go play that, right? And my ADD-ness, I'm just like, oh, let me go over there. Let me check that out.
Squirrel.
Oh, let me check that out. And I don't focus a strategy at the end of the game. I just had fun doing a lot of different things. Hence why I don't think I've ever scored over 70 points in Tapestry until just recently.
Yeah, about last year.
In the last 6 months, I finally scored over 100 points.
Does it? Jared's been talking about it many times, that he says the same thing, that if you like Tapestry, you're going to like this kind of game because of the fact that you have to really figure out what's the best parts and smash them together. And I see on BGA these people that score 300, 400, 500 points. I just don't get it. I really don't. I have yet to ever break 200. I've never even come close. So I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, there's a person in our Discord server out of Maryland, and I've played a couple of Tapestry games with him, and I'll score 180 to 220. That's my sweet spot, and he's like 375. I'm like, how did you possibly?
Every time.
Wayne, there's somebody behind you trying to get your attention. Look, I don't know. Is somebody in there?
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
It's Mitchell.
There's Mitchell back there.
What's up?
Son of a Mitch.
Mitchell got lost.
Yeah,
Mitchell,
yes,
Mitchell, the fifth Beatle, the lost member of the Beans and Dice
There you
Crew.
go.
We
Well,
really
you're
just
in,
want
man.
we
With
really
another
wanted to reach
MI,
out and
Mike.
just make sure that you're still alive, Mitchell, and that you're not sleeping with the fishes in Long Island Bay. So
He's been
Somewhere in
busy.
he's in Witsec somewhere. So.
I don't understand that reference. I've just been living at the theater pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
so
been
Mitchell,
busy.
I know you were checking out the Sixth Realm. Any thoughts? Did you get a chance to play it with Jeremy yet? No,
No, I did not. I know you streamed it last week, right?
we did. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's got
yeah.
the copy now, so I wasn't sure if you had a chance to play it.
Yeah, I don't play board games these days. I just go to the theater and then I come home.
And that's it for Mitchell. We'll see you later, Mitchell. No, but any thoughts? Is this a pass play? Something? What do you think on this?
Oh, I'll give anything a try one time before I start bashing it. One time. We'll see.
Not even all the way
Tip
through.
Patrick wants to know why you're not in rehearsal right now.
Well,
Mitchell.
that's why I wasn't here from the get. I was at rehearsal. So yeah.
Well, I thought I'd surprise you guys with that. And
Yeah,
this is
nice
a
to
great
see you,
time.
Bins and Dice guys.
Nice.
Yeah, good to
reunion,
see you all. Our official red bean out of Louisiana.
Yes, indeed. I
And
haven't
this is a
seen you
good
guys
time.
since Rob almost went blind in Louisiana. Didn't tell us.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to keep that hush hush.
I still don't think I'm getting the real stories of what happened.
yeah.
Like,
there was a lot more partying or something going on. Yeah.
Yeah, too much cayenne in in
Too much
boudin
spice.
there. Yep, too much spice. All right, this is a board game show. So Rob, and Wayne, and Carlos, and Mitchell, do you know what that means?
Game time.
Games.
It's time to play a game. Yeah, that's
Oh.
right. Dugas says maybe you've been visiting the 6th realm.
No, I've been at the 7th realm.
Well, welcome
Ooh.
back.
Oh, that's the expansion.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
he got the production copy of 6th realm. I got the one of 7th realm. I'm just next level. Yeah.
All right, Steve, you want to tell the chat crew about the game we're going to be playing? It looks like we got a nice, healthy crew there in the chat crew, so I think we can
Seems
play
like
with
it.
them.
Seems
Yeah.
like we got folks who are going to compete out there. So
I'm betting on Dave Dugas to absolutely come out in the top 13.
So we're going to do just one cardboard, BJ's version of this. It's just one is a party game where you have a clue that you have to give. There's going to be a guesser, but the guessers are going to be the entire chat crew. BJ is going to put a game or something game related out to us on screen in private chat. We will all have to type in there our one-word clue to get that across. And just like in Just One, if two people say the same thing and it's judged to be the same, that gets erased. So the crew will then there will be a revelation to the chat crew of what clues made it through, and they'll have to try and race to guess to see who can figure out the game clue first.
All right. Rob's in
share,
the private
we'll
chat
share.
already.
No, yeah,
Jumping into test in private chat.
There you go.
All right, that's the wrap up. Does everybody understand how to play the game? Berlin, we played it before, so it's coming back to you a little bit.
So you'll type
think
your
so.
answers in there in private chat, and then BJ will count us down 1, 2, 3 to a enter reveal kind of thing.
All right, so I'm throwing out the name of the game for the first one. Chat crew, we're going to try to come up with some clues for you, and then Steve's going to keep track to see how many.
Am I?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If you can do it.
On it.
All right, we'll
I know
make
this is a
Mitchell
cooperative game, but I'm going to win.
Yeah, it's the chat crew's going to win. So let's see. All right. Well, it's not Steve. I can keep track of it too. We lost Steve.
All right. I'll keep
Oh,
track.
you are? Okay, you ready? So
I'm
yeah.
next.
All right. Here's the first game. This is just one cardboard. So I'm going to throw in a game in the chat, and then we all have we got a couple of seconds to think of our clue, just one word, to try to get the chat crew to guess it. And then I'll count it down 3, 2, 1, and then you'll type in the clue. Let's see. Oh, I got mine already. Ever the Cylon.
Oh, please.
All right, are we ready?
I think
We got
so.
our clues.
No, we're
Typing in.
yeah. One of us typing, the other one's writing down.
Okay.
Hang on.
We're gonna make this work.
Okay, I see it. I see BJ's comment now. Okay.
All right, so we've got it. We're ready to go, Carlos and Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. He's still writing.
Oh, you'll just fill it in as long as he's got
All
it.
right, I'm
So,
good.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Ooh. Oh no, we got 2 that were eliminated.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got a few clues. I think the chat crew could get this. All right, so here are your clues, chat crew, for the first one, and it is snow caps, pass, please, nope, and buttons. One of
Watching
those
chat
answers
keep
is kind of
time.
close to the borderline there.
It is, yeah.
I think it is one
call
word.
allowed
I think
it,
it is one
think.
word officially.
Let's see if we got anybody in the chat crew can figure out what game are we giving you as a clue. I think we stumped the chat crew.
They may all be typing.
They're all in the 6th realm.
And delays.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in the 6th realm. Yeah, usually that Twitch channel is usually the fastest one, and they always get mad because Twitch is jumping on it right away.
Unfair advantage.
I don't think
Watch on
anybody can
Twitch.
figure it out.
Everybody sleeping.
Dude,
I haven't seen anybody type in yet.
those that are watching, you're the chat crew. So you're
Yes. we should establish that.
Roles.
Yeah.
Chime in.
That's true.
Can we
Oh,
hear
can
the
we hear the
Patrick
clues
ask
again?
the clues again?
Sure,
In
we
Spanish this time.
got snow caps, pass, please, the questionable nope, and buttons. Oh yeah, there
And
we
maybe
go.
Patrick and Don fighting it out.
Yeah, Patrick and Don. Yeah, Dugai can't figure this one out. He's got no chance. And I bet on him to win. And it's not
You
gonna
did.
I believe in Kyle. Come on, Mr. Jeeves.
Calico.
We got Calico. No.
First guess.
No.
Mountain
The Brant says mountain something. No, that's not it
Is
either.
this related to Brandon Sanderson?
Yeah, we like to joke.
Long lost cousin.
You've probably seen the brand. He's on the Dice Tower, and he does a lot of videos with Tom and all them. So
That's
He's
the
got
they're together on the mountain thing, aren't they?
they've got the great podcast. If you haven't heard it, the brand is now with Eric Summer, and he does the a great podcast. A couple
Right,
times
is
a
that the
month.
right brain rollers?
Right Brain Rollers? That's it. Yep.
Yeah, I just listened to that.
We've had a lot of guesses, but it hasn't happened yet.
Diabolically Evil since 2023 or something. They have this cool thing.
Is it good? Yeah.
No, I think we're gonna have to call
It's
it.
meant to be called.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody
stumped
got
him.
it. All right, Steve, you figured out what it is?
I saw it. That's it.
So
That's it. I've been reading since 2023.
It's a live show, Carlos. It's a live show. You know how that works, man.
Yes. I think we
Classically
would call it on
sinister.
that one.
Classically
Yeah.
sinister. No, the correct answer was no thanks. Wow, I thought that'd be the easiest one for them to get right off the bat because we talked about it during the show, but no. So
Is the second one the second game you guys talked about? And then it'll be really
Yeah.
easy. We just go
No.
just in order.
we didn't do that.
Shuffle
Imperium
them.
Uprising.
Right.
Shuffle
So
those cards.
Steve, if you don't mind, recap what the scores are so far.
Well, the scores right now are everybody is mutually tied with 0. So everyone's losing or everyone's winning, depending on how you look at it.
They're all still in it.
I think they're stuck on the
snow
snow
caps
caps.
is a comment from earlier on in the show about the
Yeah, I ruined it.
about
Yeah.
the pieces
fact-
instead of chips. You
The
would have had
chips
chips, but two
in
people
No
said chip.
Thanks remind
right?
me of the snow caps candy. I'm a fat guy. I relate everything to food. Okay, this
I was
mouse is
doing a-
about the size of a plum.
I
You know,
was
it's-
doing a callback, Carlos. I thought, hey, if they watched the show, they heard you say the
Yeah.
snow caps. This will be an easy one.
Get a
But
free
no.
one.
I
Yeah.
almost typed that myself.
Yeah,
thought
Don
the
said
same way.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Don, ever the Cylon. I'm always about the Cylon. So, okay, here we go back. Here's our second one. All right, Don, here's your chance, man. Second one. Are we
Redemption
ready?
time.
Okay. There's our second one. People need to think of a good one for this one.
Oh.
The show didn't just start. No, the show is starting. It's going, and we're working on some clues here, Dave Duga. All right, so let's see.
Okay, so this is in private chat here.
Yeah, let me see. All right, I got it. Oh no, yeah, I think that'll work. How we good? Were we set?
Wait,
Should be
two
in private
words.
chat?
Right, 2 words. Not allowed.
Nope.
Two
one
words are
word.
not allowed. Just one clue. 3,
Wait.
2, 1. I think we got some good clues here.
Nice.
Everybody's in. Yes, everybody's in. Oh no! Oh no!
That's gonna be.
Yo,
Oh,
catch
no.
that. They're in the
Cancel.
same room.
Three
and they
who
keep
said-
We're in the same room. I told we should do a one team, be together, but
Yeah.
canceling each other out. This is
Wow.
all right.
we would
Jack
probably
Crew.
do worse if we did one team.
Okay.
Jack Crew, sorry, we don't have all the clues again. But here's your clues. We have archaeology, Indiana.
No,
Ju-
I would crush that one with the others too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would
yes.
have put them all three together.
I would put
Yeah.
them all together.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Okay, archaeology. Ignore what I said. Jungle, compass, and arc.
I think
There's
they
your
can get
game.
This.
They're gonna
Mark?
get this. There we go,
Brant.
Brant.
I think it's
Yeah.
Brant.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got it. Nicely
Brent's got
done. Nicely done.
Would have got it without the Indiana.
Yep. Kelly was
Oh,
right
Kelly
there.
was right
That's
there
funny.
too.
Is I was even honest because like Rob hit early, so I saw India. I'm like, I have Indiana. I gotta hit enter. I'm not gonna change my answer. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. That is the same thing. So
Yeah, people were getting that one. All right, so we've shaken out the gremlins a little bit. Where now the game is being played.
all right. So 3 points to whoever got it first, 2 to whoever got it second, 1 to whoever got it third.
What?
throwing some dance,
geez,
man.
BJ. I
It's
told
never-
you we had talked about doing the envie game again here, and BJ
Wait.
always tries to mess things up. So I was going to say you're going to do it differently. It's going to be the Cylon V game.
That's right. Wayne, we never do our games exactly the same. We can't do that except for the envy game. That one
Yep.
we usually do the same. But
Yep.
all right, here's the third one.
Back
And then
to private
we'll do the recap of the scores after the third one. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready? 3 for first, 2 for second, 1 for third.
After we said that they got it right, everybody can type. It's got to be just the first answer gets it, BJ.
Yeah, the first answer gets 3 points. Second person who gets it right. 2.
Just wait and copy. Get 2 points every time.
But how long do
I
you
guess
wait?
no, you know what?
It
You're
becomes
right.
a waiting game, like a push your luck game. Like, how long do I wait?
Exactly.
Can I get
say,
in
I'm not gonna
second or
answer now. No
third?
thanks. No thanks. I'm gonna pass on that. I'm gonna answer later.
Good callback.
I should have taken it.
All right, there's your game.
All right, let me get back to it. Ooh.
It's the game where the points don't matter. That's right.
Ooh.
Oh, Kelly was on it. She just not quite
Facebook is
there.
usually lagging more than any of the
Yeah,
other
they're usually
platforms.
behind. All right, this is a tough one. I think I tried to get games that you guys have talked about, but this one you guys may not have. The rest of them, I'm pretty sure you guys have talked about. So, and you'll know whenever I get to the next ones. Let's see. Let's see. All right, I got it. How we feel?
Okay.
Good.
Pencils down.
Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I didn't go Cylon this time. I tried to be it. Oh
changed
no,
Mitchell.
Robin
You're
Mitchell.
Darn you, Mitchell.
Robin Mitchell. Okay, here's your clues, chat crew. Brewery, rocks, fermentation, soju. Did I pronounce that right? Soju.
Mhm.
And glasses.
Don, I think Don's got it.
Don. Yep.
Don's
Nice.
on it. Nicely done, Don.
Dun, dun,
Don
dun,
gets
dun.
the 7 points. Good job.
Mitchell and I had
7 now.
spirits.
7 for first, 5 for second, and then
And
1
pi
if you
for
come out
third.
fourth. No,
Pi
no,
for third.
nothing for third. Fourth is 1.
Okay.
On the Rocks is a good guess.
Well, that
Rocks
would've
was a
been a
good
good one.
choice, yeah.
Yeah, except you can't use rock.
Except
And you did
Rocks was
say
in
rocks.
the yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
the clues.
Don says now he's thirsty. That's our job. That's what we're trying to do. All right, so you want to give us the rundown on the points so far?
It's Brent and Don tied up.
All right, here we go. All right, this one I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. So Wayne, Mitchell, Rob, Carlos, I don't know. We'll see. I kind of went deep cover on this one.
Ooh.
All right, so for fans of the show, they know why I'm laughing on this one.
Yeah, and I'm just lost.
Oh no, really,
I think
Verla?
I'm with Verla on
Totally
this
lost.
one.
Oh, ooh. Oh, I did not catch that. The one I'm putting in, I know it's going to get bopped right away, but I'm going to do it anyway. Unless I can think of something else. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's a tough one. All right, just do the best you can, Verla and Steve. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I knew it, Wayne. Dang it.
And I changed my
no.
answer too. I was like, oh, that'd be good.
Ooh,
Oh,
they're
dang it.
not getting this.
I
This
don't
one's gonna be a
have a
tough one.
clue.
I went Cylon on this one.
Kelly says, quick, Verla, check BBG.
I almost did.
Let's see. Here's the clues. Let's see if I can get them right. Spiders, dragons, tree, supplant, or is that
Yep.
supplant?
Supplement.
With the high school with that guy, Lance.
Supplant.
Real cool. Sup, Lance?
And overlight.
Ooh.
I had read that. That is awesome. I read that one. All right, spiders, dragons, tree, supplant, and overlight. All right, who got it? Terraforming Mamu. No, that's not it. That's my hometown, so that's why Dugas throwing that out there. And it's not Terraforming Mamu.
No.
And you can't say Erath. We don't call Earth, we call it Erath because there's a local town that looks just like Earth. So Sleeping Gods is not it, Don.
Nope.
Patrick Newman says question mark. I have
Nailed
not
it.
played that, Patrick.
Yep.
I don't know that one. Are we I think we're stumping them, you think?
This
I
is a
should have
tough
gone.
one, yeah.
I shouldn't have changed my answer.
I know.
Definitely
Yeah.
a beans and dice beans. The beans audience would have got this one.
A deep-
I would. You know what you can do if you want to give this back? You can give back one of the clues. Maybe there was a duplicate to give the.
All right. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that.
there you go.
Fighting chance.
Just two.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The duplicate answer was drow. Does that help? Man, you figure
That should
Mr.
help.
Jeeves would be all
That
over
should
this
help.
one.
He should
Drow. Anybody out
Might be
there?
putting the kid down.
While they're doing that, I'll get to the next one so we can start working on that. So,
Okay.
but I don't think. Let me know if anybody gets it. I don't think they're going to get that
Not
one.
seeing any typing on that one so far.
All right. I think. Oh, he's so close.
Brant got it.
There we
Brant.
go, Brand.
Nicely done. Dom was so close, but the Brant got it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I was
The Brant
actually
Tyrants of the North. So
Yeah.
Wayne and I both said drow, and he probably should have.
Who
I
put
was
in
gonna
the
say I
supplant?
was gonna say dungeons, and then thinking someone
I
said
put
dragons,
supplant,
should be Dungeons
Carlos.
and Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that would have been a good one. That
You
Who
got
would
a
put in
problem with my
supplant?
I did, Carlos. You got a problem with it?
That's a good one.
No, that's a good one.
Okay,
That's a
thank
whole new meta on this just one. Like pick mechanisms or rules or tokens, actions.
I thought about.
That got me clueless because I have not played the game since 2017, so I don't remember what is this.
We supplant the fighters
You
could
kill
take one of
someone
theirs
and
off
replace them with
and
one
put
of your
their
own.
put yours on there
as an
Yeah.
action.
Mhm.
Man,
I think it costs like 5 combat or something
Three.
to do it. 3?
Yeah, I think
Rob
3.
knows.
But yeah. Mm.
the Brant said his favorite deck builder with a board. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's an awesome game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Interesting.
That's
All right.
definitely in all our top tens.
Let's go to the next one. Steve, we got what's the list now? I guess the
Brant.
Brant's
Brant is in the lead by 3 points.
Duga. Come on, Duga.
Come on, Dave.
Come on, Dave. All right, here we go. Next one up. Another game you guys have talked
Oh.
about. Yeah.
Ooh.
The problem with this game is all of us smashing each other out. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Be careful.
It's wide open field out there. So what do we have? Let's see. Oh, okay. I got mine. I think I'm ready. Everybody ready?
Set. Yep.
Still thinking? Wayne? Wayne's
Pencils
still
down.
thinking.
We
good.
just played this
We're
last
good.
week.
3, 2, 1.
Ah,
Carlos.
Steve, that was mine.
Oh, and Verla.
Oh man.
Did you type that? Oh.
No, I changed it.
Oh,
Boy, did it.
last second.
Good.
3
good,
of
good.
you. Woo.
Oh my god!
That's a good one,
Dang.
Steve.
Get out of my
Oh,
brain,
wow.
Verla.
The
Rob,
good
are you
news is
serious?
that-
That's what
no,
you went with?
Rob did what a smart player. He's
But
like,
I did.
everybody's going to do
I
it.
did. You guys were all going to cancel. Thought you were going to cancel, so everybody stayed away from it. So I went
Yep.
with the obvious.
They're
Yep.
gonna get this.
How many
think so.
times
Yeah.
in Just One does that happen? Where everybody, after like 3 or 4 words, then everybody's trying to think so creative
Yep.
that we leave the obvious one. So let's go. Chat crew, here we go. We got Connie, carvings, space, and bees. Connie, carving, space, and bees. Oh, come on. Somebody's going to get that right. Yeah.
Super quick.
If any answer is wrong, you all lose points.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're kicked out of the
Oh,
stream.
I like that. Negative. Hey, Steve, write that down. Negative 6.5 points if they guess the wrong one.
Don ties it back up.
So the brand is now negative 6.5. So he caught himself. APR. I think that person was a joke. But
Same thing.
Yeah, Don was there first, I think.
Planet.
Kelly has Planet Unknown.
It is now back to a tie ball game.
The space part, maybe that they got us
Space
thinking.
part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Brant. The Brant, we got to give it to Don. Don's in.
Yep, I think so.
Boy, that guy you guys were talking about that you had on the show that hates board games online. Don and I think we just hit. I forgot we counted the number up. It's like our 500th or 1,000th play online together.
Nice.
Me, Don, and Dan from the Geek All Stars, and
Wow.
Andrew Buchholz. I mean,
Nice.
we constantly. As soon as we finish one, it's like hit replay. So,
Yep.
all right, here's the next one. Ready?
Okay, set.
Do this.
And this is just for one particular bean and dice.
Mhm,
Could be
mhm,
tough.
mhm.
Could be a little tough. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to go with this one, right? Now I'm not sure. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm sure it's going to get knocked out. All right, are we ready?
Good here.
Verla, have you played this?
No,
No? Okay. Do you know what it is, maybe?
I've
Little?
heard the name.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Oh, mine slugged through. Okay.
Wow, we all got
Okay.
through, huh?
Good job.
Oh, wow.
Verla.
Hey, lots of them here for you.
For someone who's only ever heard of the game.
Yeah, that's a pretty good clue there. All right, here we go. Here we go, chat crew. We got. I can just read all of them, right? I think
Yeah,
so.
looks like it.
Okay, good. So we have Blitz, Football, American, Miniatures, Ogre, Plasma, and Skaven. Steve, I'm curious on that one. Oh, God.
I got nothing.
Yeah, that was good. No, that was a good one.
There
Done.
you
Good,
go. Done.
Never played it, Steve? No?
No, haven't.
I played the quick version of it, Carlos. I forgot the name of it. Nicely done.
Blitzball.
Blitzball. Okay, that's the only one I've played. So, Carlos, you're a big fan, though, right?
Yeah.
He is.
These patches, these are not my Boy Scout patches. These are Blood Bowl patches from many tournaments. So Blood Bowl's my thing. It is a game from the 80s. It's a little bit younger than I am, but it's been around over 40 years. And so you don't get around over 40 years without having something. Just a tidbit. David Thompson, the designer, the acclaimed designer of things like Undaunted, right? He started with Blood Bowl. That's where
wow.
he got his cred.
I did not know that.
Yep.
All right, so Steve, so Don got 7
Don has
points on
climbed
that
back
one.
into the lead.
Mr. Jeeves got 4 for his, and the Brett got -1 on his. So what are the scores now?
It's Don is in the lead. Don has crept back in front. Brent has 2 wins. Don has 3. It's a 2-horse race at this point.
Still early. Not really. We only have 3 clues left, so they better jump on this.
Okay.
Got it.
Are we ready? Ready for the next game?
Do it.
Another one you guys have talked about. Should be familiar to almost everybody here, hopefully. Maybe. I'm seeing some looks of acknowledgement. Maybe. Let's see. All right.
I feel like
Oh,
we're getting
man, I
knocked
had
out here.
I had one. Okay, I got it.
Count us down.
1. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Mitchell. Dang it.
That's
Oh,
yeah,
Wayne, I almost did that.
I was going to knock y'all out because I had the same one and I changed it at the last minute. I was like,
Oh.
I changed to that just at the last second too.
oh no. All right, so here we go with the clues. So Wayne, you're good, right? Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And Carlos, you're good.
Yep.
Steve, Verla, and
Verla,
Mitchell are all
and
good.
you.
Okay, good. All right.
No, I'm not good.
No,
Mitchell and I are
Mitchell's
out.
not. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hershey, Gilbert. I always forget how to say this. Is it cacao? Is that how you say it?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cacao, Veruca, and Belgian. All right. Oh, yeah, Don, check it out. You can actually check their podcast out. And, of course, on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock your time, right?
Yeah, 9 to 11. Yep.
Oh, there they go. They're just
Oh, wow.
one
Everybody
after
got
the
it.
other. But I see Don first.
Yeah, Don's first in my chat. Oh, this is Patrick, thanks for hanging out with us. Good night, Patrick. Tell Cindy
Night,
hey
friend.
for us. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us.
See you,
Yeah,
Patrick.
I had Wonka first, and I thought someone would change to Pav Wonka, so I changed to Hershey. But
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
I had Wonka.
this is a game that is underrated and kind of got lost during the pandemic as just a really fun game that should get played more.
It's thinky. But I had a Simile, and I said, no, that's not going to make it. And then I had Wonka. I was like, no, Wayne's going to pick that. And so I canceled both of those. Yeah, the Brant. Sorry, man. You're doing well. It's still in there. We got 2 guesses left. This is your chance to tie. All
Yeah,
right,
with
here
2
we go.
guesses left, you need them.
This one I'm doing for someone who's not here tonight. But I figured I'd throw that out just in case. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does hopefully I spelled it right. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
I think so.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
What can we put this?
Think.
You would think the guy who wrote out the games would have already had clues ready. All these games, but I didn't even think of that. Okay, I'm ready.
I'm not. Second.
The Brant's already thinking of one.
Early.
Way early. All right. Not a bad idea, though. Start throwing game names out before we even give our clues.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, no.
Damn it, BJ.
How did you think of that?
Wow.
I was way out of the. Oh, no.
Oh, my. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
This one's bad.
So they have one guess. Mitchell, I'm going to let you read that one because they're never going to get. Look,
wow.
They're all guessing.
The Acadians.
Before we even
They might as
start.
well at this point.
Jeez.
All right, Mitchell, read out your clue.
Hock up.
That's it. That's your only clue is Hogger. Everything else got knocked out, Chuck Crew.
Wow.
That one's gonna be. I might start
That's
working on the next one.
That's a deep cut too.
I don't know that. I don't know that game, Mr. Jeeves. What is that one?
Good luck.
Oh no! What?
Done.
Don.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Holy.
Got it. Don
How did
Lyles.
that?
Super Don Lyles knocked it out
Wow.
of the park. It was Sentinels. Don, you got to tell us in the chat. How did you
yeah.
get?
How did you come up with that?
Because the Brant thought somebody said haggis or haga. Okay, so the other clues we had, I thought were pretty good. There were superhero and kapow. But that's it. That was everybody picked one of those two clues.
We've been hanging out together for too long, BJ.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I
We share a
hadn't
brain.
played the game in so long I couldn't remember any of the characters' names. There's like 5 or 6 main characters, and I'm like, what are their names? I couldn't think of any of them.
I wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's very
Don said-
impressive.
I love the
Nice.
character.
Good pull.
Nice done.
Don
I've
may
never
have salted
played-
that one away.
I've never played Sentinels. It looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks fiddly, but it looks fun.
Very fiddly.
It is. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
All right, last one of the night. Give us the score so we can see who's close.
Um,
Because we're going 3 points on this one. 3 points
Wow.
for the winner of this one.
okay. So
Or 7 points. Sorry, 7 points for
yeah,
the
I think
winner.
you need to go 7 points to make it.
All right, Jimmy Fallon.
Give him a chance.
So fiddly. You're right, Dean.
Yeah. Yep.
What you
All
got?
right. So that means that Don is in front right now, but whoever gets this one wins the whole shebang. If that's the case.
Could be the winner. Oh, Dean checking in from the Meeple Town.
Yep.
Congratulations on joining all of us in this as not getting a BGG nomination,
Yeah.
Dean. We're all in the same. We're all in glorious company, right?
Yes.
All right, there's your game.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Wow.
There's your game. Hey, I watched the show, right? You can tell I watched the show. So, let's see. Let's see. I mean, it could be that.
Mm.
I could do that. Mm.
You could be a lot of things. It's like, what is? I don't know what y'all are gonna put.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Gosh, dang it, Wayne.
Okay.
Did we get any clues through?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. BJ, that's one word. Sure.
Yeah. I'll try to cut it out.
Just run it all together.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
1,000,000 points. 1,000,000 points. Dean didn't want to be nominated anyway. Don't blame
Right.
you.
Wow.
All right. So Beyond the Sun. Here we go. Here's your clues. Let's see. We got threes. Oh, I like that. Threes.
Mhm.
The next one is okay, right? Guest, larceny, and oceans. So we got oceans, larceny, guest, and threes. Is that enough? And I can't. All of us avoided the 1 or 2 clues that were like so obvious.
More
right?
obvious. Yeah. Yeah.
Except for me and Wayne.
Don is being distracted. Ooh, Brant, that's a good
That's a
choice.
good guess.
Very good guess.
But
Your
Not the
fly
one.
is down. I don't think it worked, Mr. G. I don't think it worked. Burger Brothers is a great guess. You're on the right theme, the Brant.
Oh, no.
Oh, so close.
Is it? Did he miss the layup and somebody else is going to dunk it?
Yes.
He missed the layup and somebody's
Don't
going to dunk
remember.
it. Not Cape May, but
Yeah.
Dean.
Oh, Dean.
Dean for the win.
So close to Brant.
Three's Company.
That's where Burger's Clues
Yeah.
came from.
That was
Yeah.
the first thing that came to my mind.
I think it's a three-way
That's a
tie
great-
between
that's a great
Dean
clue.
and the Brant and Don. I mean, all three of them played so
Yep.
well. Dean did win 17 points in that last one, so that put him a little ahead, but
Yep.
only knew
Yeah,
from
I
the
haven't
other
played it
clue.
either, Dean.
I've never played. Oh, you didn't play it at ChuckCon with us? No.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
That might have
missed
been my COVID day. Wah,
Mhm.
wah.
Well,
Yeah.
that is just one cardboard. We hadn't pulled that one out in a while. That was pretty fun. That's a game presented by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Remember, make your show nights. Oh my God, make your game nights a showstopper when you play on a Game Topper. Whoa, I am rusty.
We haven't pulled that one out in a while.
Yeah, that was a while, man. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guests, Carlos, Rob, Wayne, and the mysterious Mitchell for joining us here on, I was about to say Beans and Dice Podcast, but on Gumbo Live. How can they reach all of you if they want to check out? Make your show nights a GameStopper.
Well, we do a Thursday night call-in show from 9 to 11, 2 hours every Thursday night. That's Eastern Standard Time, so different times across the country, of course. And we've got people who call in from everywhere. We've got the Facebook page, Beans and Dice. You can find us on there. We've got our Discord channel, Beans and Dice Discord. Wayne does a great job of helping us run that.
Very active.
Yep, and we play lots of games on Board Game Arena is our electronic means of choice right now. Wayne also real tech supporty for us and getting people signed up for that. So if you're interested in playing, just hop into the Discord, give Wayne a shout, and he can get you added to our BGA group. And we play tons of games. We're posting games constantly in there, playing. How many games are you involved in right now, Wayne?
About 75.
75. Okay, so he's got 75 going at any time. He dwarfs me. I've usually got about 20-ish going on, but we're constantly playing games on there. But our
I
main
love
thing.
the tournaments, though. The tournaments are so much fun, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, those are great. Yeah, and we got to get back to that. We've had a couple months off, but we need to get that going back again. But yep, and then we've got our the YouTube channel is where we do the main broadcast for our Beans and Dice. Some of our archives. We've got some gameplay throughs, some reviews. Hopefully, be getting back to some of that stuff in the near future. And then Wayne has been running the audio version of the podcast. You want to tell them where they can find that, Wayne?
Well, I know that it's uploaded to basically all your major podcast things. I know Mitchell and I were doing it pretty regularly, and then he's gotten sidetracked with his theater life, so we've taken a break from that, and now Mike and I are trying to pick it up. We're trying to get one out a month and try to pick that up as time goes on, but we're trying to supplement the Thursday night show with the podcast that we do every couple of weeks. So. That'll be just basically the Beans and Dice podcast, basically on any of your streams.
So check them out Thursday night. It's at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Do you have any special plans for this Thursday, or it's just going to be call-in show at a certain point?
I think this Thursday is just a regular call-in show. Typically, we spend about the first 20, 30 minutes talking about news and what we've been gaming, and then we'll open up the phone lines for anyone to call in and talk about what you've been gaming or just give us a topic.
Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo, and the YouTube channel. It helps us get the word out about all of our upcoming shows. Next week, we'll be back in the Gumbo Pot playing a game live on Twitch on our Tuesdays Twitch, where we play your games live on Twitch every other week. Remember, I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and for Rob and Carlos and Wayne and Mitchell and Verla and Steve and everybody in the chat crew, Laissez, bon temps, rouler. Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.